CommonPass. What is that? That's the thing that's in trial right now. It's tested from New York to Heathrow, and I believe there's another places too they're being tested in. Yeah, I don't have that on the top of my head, but it's being tested. And what that COVID pass is it's well, I'll just read a couple things. World's first COVID passport technology will be trialed on flights from Heathrow this week in bid to get passengers to let passengers travel without risk of quarantine in future, but requires authorities to trust test lab results. United Airlines and Cathay Pacific are trying out CommonPass. That's the name of it, CommonPass software. The pass works by passengers taking a test at a certified lab before uploading it. This generates a QR code that can be scanned by the airline staff and/or border officials. But it will require governments to trust coronavirus tests that are taken. So on that note, I know we're looking at, I've read figures of most coronavirus tests, or for this COVID-19, are 80% false positives. And one day a guy will get tested, say it's a negative, get tested again, say it's positive, get tested a third time, that's negative. And this is all a matter of a day. Or vice versa, it works the other way. He's positive, he's negative, he's positive. On top of that, they've never isolated COVID-19. It hasn't been isolated. Under Koch's postulates, Koch's postulates, it's never been isolated. That's a whole another thing in itself. But passengers on United Airlines and Cathay Pacific are trying out an app called the CommonPass. The phone software is a digital health pass, can hold certified COVID-19 test status and show someone has been vaccinated in future in a way designed to satisfy various government's different regulations. It has been launched by nonprofit Trust Common Projects Foundation, is the name, part of the World Economic Forum. I'll repeat that, part of the World Economic Forum. They are the ones, I believe, that are pushing this future fame and thing. They've done test runs of that, trials of that. They're pushing the vaccine, even though it's not approved, even though there's so many different ones out there. Some with this hydrogel, you have to look into hydrogel. I highly recommend doing that. It's not about you. It's not about your safety. It's not about what's best for you and your family. It's always the opposite of what they tell you. This tech is very much at the trial stage, using volunteers on flights between London, New York, Hong Kong, and Singapore under government observations. I'll try to get another thing here. The aviation industry had hoped trials of new systems designed to cut travel quarantine times could begin soon as tomorrow, and this was a couple days ago, so the trials are going on now. The pass works by passengers taking a test at a certified lab before uploading it to their phone. It generates a QR code that can be scanned by airline staff and border patrols. And next thing here, I'm just sorry for the mess. Here's another headline, here's another article, there's a bunch of these. A new COVID passport being tested at Newark, Heathrow, could help reopen global travel. So if you don't do this, global travel is not going to be open. It's not going to go back to any form of normal or sense of normal, like they always tell you. So provide a certified COVID-19 test information to border officials upon arrival. The digital health pass called CommonPass was developed by Swiss-based nonprofit Common Project and the World Economic Forum. It is being presented to 37 governments and counting as a way to help facilitate the reopening of borders. So it's going to help facilitate the reopening of borders. So that's telling me borders aren't opening. It's not going back to any form of normal, any form of what you and I consider normal, until all their stuff they're pushing through they want to push through until it's there. We're working on it. United Airlines and Cathay Pacific Airlines began testing the technology with volunteer passengers on select flights between London and New York, between Hong Kong and Singapore. Additional airlines and routes in Asia, Africa, the Americas, Europe, and the Middle East are expected to participate in a quick succession according to the Commons project. So, what's on this CommonPass? Well, they're saying it's going to be your COVID-19 test results. You think that's going to be it? Absolutely not. What they haven't written up when they want to push this and get this going, what are the next steps? This is the first step, and then the next steps are to have all your health records in there, all the records of when and if you've been vaccinated, and records of what you have had, what you haven't had, specific things. And then the next thing they're saying is going to be financials. So it's going to be easy for you. It's going to be great. So you don't have to carry that bulky, heavy, dirty cash, and you don't have to worry about your bank accounts, your ATM card, your credit cards. You can just use this pass. It's just going to be on your phone, and from there, then they can give you your UBI or your stimulus. Digits they have coming that they call money. It's going to be so much better, so much easier. The time in lines will be, down to zero because they'll know everything. You don't have to worry about anything. It will be great. And as soon as everything's fixed and back to normal, they'll give you some sense of normal, and they'll try to get back to the best way that they think that you want to, the way that they think you're going to be most comfortable with, because it's all about you. It's always all about you. Just like, the war on poverty, the war on drugs, the war on terror. Those were temporary until they won those wars, and now they're gone. No, they're not gone. Because, I'll go through some numbers here. The war on poverty began in 1964. Since then, we've spent $500 billion a year on that. Still. And nothing's happened. War on drugs began in 1971. $25 billion a year spent on that. War on terror began in 2001. $130 billion is spent on that yearly. Well, they said they had to introduce this TSA for this war on terror, and that would take care of it. Well, the TSA is still here, almost 20 years later. Since they started to today, there's really been nothing substantially foiled from terrorist plot from the airports or travel. Nothing. I mean, that tells me at least that if it would never been put in place, to now, we would be in the same situation we are now, but we would have saved $130 billion yearly, not spending that on the TSA and this war on terror. Anyways, so the CommonPass is a test run right now. It's the same. So once everything's settled, they'll go back to normal once they get it implemented and take care of whatever they're worried about, COVID-19 or that kind of stuff, and it'll go back to normal. Just like I said, just like the war on poverty, the war on drugs, the war on terror, all went away once that was battled, taken care of, war was won, all back to normal. No more money spent, no more thought about it. But that's not the case. Like I said in a prior video, the most permanent thing is a temporary thing from the government. A temporary solution from the government is the most permanent thing. So I just want to go with the holidays coming up, and to keep pushing us. We need from 15 days to flatten the curve. Then we need 30 more days. Then we need 30 more days, and then we need 30 more days. And now we got to eradicate this thing instead of just protect the most vulnerable and free up the hospitals and free up the workers, that kind of stuff. That's how it started, and now that doesn't matter anymore. Now it's all about we got to contain this thing, even though it's 99.97%. If you get it, you're 99.97% survival rate from it, which is amazing. It sounds like so much better than the flu or anything else out there, heart disease, other things like that you could get. So anyways, I think with these holidays, I think they're going to try to pass something, push it through. When everyone's preoccupied with something else over here, they'll do something over here. That's what they always do. So, when were some illegal laws passed? Well, the Federal Reserve Act, as you know of, that's why we have this paper, bills, this fiat currency that says Federal Reserve on it. That was enacted on Christmas Eve, 1913. TSA was enacted day after Thanksgiving, 2003. TSA full body scanners began right around Thanksgiving holiday, 2010. Obamacare, or the Affordable Care Act, passed the House and Senate Christmas Day, 2009. Obama signed it into law March 2010. Why are they doing this on Christmas Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, day before Thanksgiving? Because everyone's busy, everyone's with their families, and they're like, if they need to travel, then they need to, worry about the stuff they're doing with their traveling and their families and the holiday and that kind of stuff. So we're going to be over here in Washington doing all this stuff that we know would not get approved by the general population, that they would not, enjoy, they would not approve of, they would fight. But if we do it when they're busy and preoccupied, then it's a law, then it's deal. They're going to have to deal with it after the fact. So, I just know we're spending the war on poverty, $500 billion a year still since 1964. War on drugs, $25 billion a year still since 1971. And the war on terror began in 2001, $130 billion. We're still spending on that. I see in the future here, if we don't stand up and stop this now, I could see temperature checks. You need to make sure that they need to make sure you've had your vaccination. Make sure your temperature's in line. Make sure you haven't been around anyone with the coronavirus or something else before you can leave your home. You need to upload stuff to some sort of app that they have before you can leave your house, before you can go to a store, before you can leave your street. I mean, that's just the beginning that I'm thinking, because this is the whole initiative they're having. And it's coming fast, so people need to wake up. Protect yourself with money, get out of the system. By money, I mean gold and silver and assets. That's what we're doing. So, thank you for watching. As always, stay vigilant, protect yourself, protect your wealth, protect your health.